week. So let's just go live. So we should be jumping in on YouTube and Facebook now, going live there. And then let's see. It's all so technical when I have to do all of this first thing in the morning. We're going live on Instagram with any luck as well. So welcome if you're joining on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, on the social medias. Today we are going to do a little Qigong flow. So we haven't done this full flow for a while, so we're going to do a 5-element flow Qigong. And what we're going to do to start off with, as always, is just do a little bit of mobilization. So just get the joints oiled for Keith, as Keith would say. And so we'll go with our feet shoulder width apart. And we'll just start off with a little bit of rotation of the spine. So a little bit of knocking on the door of life. And you are just tapping the back of the hand on the lower back and the arm swinging across the front, just tapping on the belly. Nice and easy. Remember that the idea with all of the Qigong movements is that the movement starts from your center. So we're moving from the hips and the waist. The spine is nice and long and tall above that, sitting on the pelvis. And then you can really relax into the shoulders, between the shoulder blades. And we're just relaxing too into the face. So relax and soften into the brow, into the eye sockets, cheekbones and jaw. If the face is relaxed, it sends that signal to the brain, to the mind, that everything's good. And then gradually just slowing this down into water waves. And here we're just creating that little bit of tension, so that little bit of resistance. So it's as if you're just running your fingers and your hands and your wrists just through water. So not splashing, just keeping that nice and smooth, fluid movement. No rush on any of these movements. And take a rest. And just stand tall for a moment. Let the breath settle. We're just going to do a little bit of work on the shoulders. So I'm going to come a little bit closer so you can see. Pop your fingers in that little knobbly bit there, or the space in the collarbone. That's what I'm looking for, just under there. You've got your fingers in there. And then we make big circles with the elbows. So keep the shoulders down and relaxed, but make big circles with the elbows. Let's go backwards first. And here we can breathe in through the nose as we expand and open up, and then just breathe out through the nose. So in as you open and out. And with the breath, with every movement that we do, we're not forcing the breath. So we're not breathing big, hard, heavy breaths. We're just breathing lightly, softly in and out through the nose, unless we do any cleansing and clearing. But at the minute, we're just breathing with the movement. So that's breath in, quiet breath in, breath out. I want you also to feel that movement through the spine. So the spine lengthens and opens a little bit. So I'm going to exaggerate the movement. You're almost like getting that spine wave as we're doing that movement. Get that upper back working. Let's change direction. So we're going forwards if you went backwards then. You might get some little crunches and creaks. As long as there's no pain, that's good. Breathing in as you expand, out as you soften or out as you contract. And then take a rest. And then we'll do like paddling. So one arm up, one down and back. And here we get in that rotation through the spine as well. So think what we did with the knocking on the door of life. You got that little bit of rotation through the spine. Let the hips go, so the hips move forwards, the shoulders come forwards. Keep that softness in the knee so we're not locking the knee out. And then let's go the other way when you're ready. Really open up, really lift that elbow, draw as big a circles as possible with your elbows. And take a rest. And give your arms a little bit of a shake. In fact, let's have a good shake. So just tapping your heels into the ground. If that doesn't hurt the ankles, that's fine. Tapping the heels and getting that vibration going through the bones, through the whole body, through the ligaments, the tendons. Shaking is really good because it's not just about most of the work that we do where you're contracting and extending muscles. Shaking is just getting the bones vibrating and the ligaments and the tendons and releasing any of that tightness and tension. Let the shoulders go a little bit. And if you feel you want to do a cleansing and clearing breath, this is where we can take that fuller breath in through the nose, still calm, and just let it go. Just a couple. Don't want to do too many of these, otherwise we start feeling lightheaded. But it's always good just to have that little bit of release of tightness and tension. Good old shake, and then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Open up the shoulders and just stay with that sensation tingling through the body. Letting the breath settle, keeping the lips lightly together. Good. Let's just take our feet, if they're not already, about shoulder width apart. We could just do that gentle rocking forwards and backwards. So we're going to rock onto the ball of the foot, and then we're going to rock backwards so you get that little bit of weight on the heel. So just a very subtle sway. I will show you from the side. You can stay facing the front. So I'm not bending, I'm just literally moving the center of gravity forwards, just enough to put weight on the ball of the foot, moving it backwards, just enough to put weight on the heel. So again, it's not overdoing anything, it's just feeling that gentle shift of the weight forwards, aligning yourself with gravity. And then if it feels comfortable for you, we're going to go into raise the bubbling spring. So you're raising onto the ball of the foot and then lowering. And yeah, you can raise the arms as well, just in Christine. That's fine. On Zoom, that's the next stage. You've gone one stage further. You're raising with the arms and then lowering. If that's too challenging, you can stay just with that gentle rock forwards and backwards, or rock forwards and raise the bubbling spring without the arms. So you choose whichever one you want to do. Obviously with the arms, it's just making that a little bit more challenging because you're lengthening the lever. So it changes your center of gravity. But the idea is just to really stay in control of that movement and feel when you're on the ball of the foot, that connection. So the point where you connect to the ground, really, really important in terms of walking, running, connection. That ball of the big toe, or sort of like behind the ball of the big toe in the middle. Let's do a couple more. Really focus on the bubbling spring, that point on the ball of the foot, on the base of the foot. It's all well and good doing calf raises and things like that, but really have that attention on the ball. The ankles just lift straight up and then have a shake out. Good. So we've done our little bit of a warm up, our mobilization. That's got the energy, the blood flowing around the system. And now we're going to use that energy that we've created to really just settle into the zone, into a nice flow. So we will do, which we haven't done for a while, the 5-element flow. If you've not done it before, if you're new to this, if you're joining on YouTube and Facebook for the first time, just follow along, don't overthink it. The idea is it just starts to feel that connection of the breath and the movement. First movement is Buddha holds up the earth. So we bring the palms towards the chest and then it's like lifting something above your head. And then we lower that back down. So just follow the movement. And the clues in the title, we're doing this slowly and we're doing it as a flow. So it's a flow, breathing in as you lift above and breathing out as we lower. So if the breath combines with the movement, fine. If you find that a struggle, just breathe lightly, softly in and out through the nose, however it works for you. And you go at your comfortable pace. You don't have to follow anyone else. Find your comfortable rhythm. Let's do one more. And then just take a moment and keep that connection. So we're not just letting everything go there. Just keep that little bit of awareness in the fingers, in the arms, just to take a moment between each of the flows. And the next is the fountain. So you're bringing the back of the hands towards each other. You're coming up the center line. When your elbows get to about shoulder height, it's like a fountain. So you just like the water just pouring out of a fountain. And remember with these movements, they're full body movements. So we're not just moving the arms. So there's a little bit of a tilt or a hinge forwards there with the hips. Again, let me just show you that from the side. You keep facing the front, you don't have to turn around. So I'm just getting that little bit of drop, that little bit of a hinge at the hips, softness in the knees. Again, lengthening and this lengthening of the spine. So let's breathe in as you expand and lengthen the spine. Softly breathe out. And think of relaxation, particularly with this movement of smooth, easy movement. The flow of water. Let's do one more, just at your own pace, in your own time. And then taking a moment. It's almost like you're just holding a little chi ball in front of you there. And then next movement, tree sways in the wind. So we palms facing up and then we rotate to one side, bring the fingers up the side, the body like that. And this is a nice one to really point at the crown of the head. So it lifts you off, it lifts you from the crown of the head and then down. And then same thing, but to the other side. So rotate up the side of the body. Rotate to the center. And this is a nice one again, just to play with the breath. So you have that little pause at the bottom of the breath, and then you breathe in as you lengthen up, and you get that little pause at the top of the breath. So see if we can just keep lengthening that breath a little bit. Again, if it feels stressful, if you feel as if you haven't got enough air, then just breathe naturally. This is not about forcing, pushing anything, but if you can just keep that breath lengthened out that little bit more, explore the spaces at the top of the breath and the bottom of the breath. Keep that softness in the knees, keep connecting to the ground through the feet. Let's just do one more to each side in your own time. And then taking a moment in between. Cloudy hands, so one palm facing the ground. So this is the shadow of the cloud. This is the cloud here, so it's in front of the chest, so just in front of the heart. And then we're going to move from the hips and the waist. Remember what we did at the very beginning, where you're moving everything from the hips and the waist, and then the upper body follows. So cloudy hands. And with the breath, you can just breathe lightly, softly in and out through the nose. It's very easy to make this look robotic. So again, remember it's a flow. So there is movement all the way through the body, all the way through the movement. Always nice as well to have that inner smile. So enjoy the practice, enjoy the movement. Maybe you are somewhere nice where there's a beautiful scenery around you. Maybe you can imagine the beautiful scenery somewhere you've been recently. Thinking some of the pictures that Maureen put on WhatsApp. Soften into the knees, soften into the ankles, soften into the hips. Relaxing the shoulders, between the shoulder blades. Soften into the wrists, into the fingers, into the elbows. And then slow it down. And then just take that moment again. Maybe still keep a little bit of movement going through that, the pause, the rest here. So you might just want to move the fingers a little bit, particularly as we've just been doing that movement. You might feel that you don't just want to be static or hold the posture for the minute. So you can allow that little bit of movement. Pebble in the pond. So it's like you're dropping a pebble in the pond and there's that ripple going out from the center. And again, remember this is a whole body flow. All of the body is involved in the flow. So there's that little bit of give in the hips. I'll show you from the side again. You keep going from the front. So I'm not reaching out here or anything like that, but it's just like a little drop. And that little bit of standing a little bit taller there. Just go with what feels good for you. Don't feel you have to copy an exercise. This is not about repeating reps. It's not about doing exercises. It's about just allowing that sense of breath and movement as one, as connected. And you can breathe out as that ripple moves outwards, and you can breathe in as you gather back towards your center. But again, just breathing lightly and softly in and out the nose is absolutely fine. Don't feel you have to breathe in any particular way. But if it feels good, breathing out as you extend out, breathing in as you gather back to your center. And when you're ready, just take in a moment. And just finishing the practice with pulling down the heavens, breathing in, breathing out. In, expanding, out. One more. And then interlocking your thumbs, bringing your feet together. And just resting your hands on the lower belly. Closing your eyes just for a moment, just to let the body rock, sway a little bit maybe. And have in mind bamboo in the wind. So how the strength of the bamboo is created by the balance between the flexibility, the resilience, and the strength. So just letting your body find its balance. And just tuning in with a bubbling spring, the point of contact with your feet on the ground. And then lengthening up the spine, relaxing into the shoulders, relaxing into the face. And then taking a slightly fuller breath. And as you breathe in, opening your eyes, stepping out. Have a little brush down, so bringing the palms of the hands together, pressing the palms there, bending the elbows back, and then just brushing down the back, the neck, the side of the legs, the inside of the legs, and the belly. Brilliant. Excellent. Hopefully you found that practice quite refreshing and getting you set up for the day. As always, on a Wednesday, we'll do a little bit more movement orientated work, and on a Monday, we'll do a little bit more breath focused work. So thanks as always for joining. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you on Monday, hopefully for the session, same time, 8 to 8:30. Have a good day. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.